What's up? What's up? What's up? Falcone here. What's going on, you guys? Okay, so today's episode probably going to be fairly short. I referenced last week question that came up, and I kind of referenced it in that conversation in the previous episode. But what I want to talk to you guys about today, because a question came up a couple weeks ago. Somebody said, "So how long do you work with people on your team? At what point do you just kind of let them kind of fly and spread their wings, if you will, right?" My answer to that, my short answer to that is you always work with people on your team, right? Your personally enrolled people and those that are actively producing, not just your personally enrolled, but people that are in depth in your organization, are people that you're going to continue to work with and continue to stay plugged in with for good, for as long as you're in the business. So it's an interesting question when people say, well, do I stop working with them at some point? No, you don't. Yeah, they may become totally independent of you, and they may be better than you, they may be more productive than you, they may even be making more than you, which is totally great, because in so many people that don't understand, only the people at the top make all the money. Dude, there's people that you can have on your team that out-earn you, and many of you guys have probably even experienced it. You got people in your organization that out-earn you, which is a beautiful thing. So when some person that doesn't even understand network marketing says, oh yeah, only the people at the top make the money, that's clearly a person that doesn't even understand our business model, right? They think they do, but they really don't. But that's not the point of today's conversation. The point of today's conversation is, how long do you work with your downline team members? And again, my short answer is forever and ever, amen. So yes, they may become totally independent. Yes, they may out-earn you. They may not need you for anything. They're just absolutely just crushing it in their business. And they're doing meetings and presentations and things all over the world, and you're like mesmerized by their productivity, and you're loving every second of it because you're earning a percentage off of everything that they do, right? But the reason I wanted to do this video is because it came up, and it's actually a question that comes up fairly frequently, where people ask, how long do you work with them? Do you get to a point where you just kind of move on? No, I never do. Maybe they don't need me every single day for all the guidance and the direction that I gave them early on to kind of teach them the ropes and show them how to do the business and get them launched and get them profitable and get them moving and get them feeling super comfortable. But even if they're making 30 grand a month, 40 grand, 50 grand a month, whatever the amount of money is, and they're totally independent of me, I'm still staying deeply connected to those people. Which goes back to, and I think I referenced it in the last episode or maybe the previous episode, but I know I referenced it in one of the most recent episodes. I referenced this thing that I have called the 7-day rule, right? And the 7-day rule, is a reminder, again, if you haven't heard it, is you never let more than 7 days pass without having some form of communication with the key producers on your team. And there's a reason why. The reason is this. It can be very easy for a lot of time to go between contacts when you have a very independent person in your organization that doesn't require you for daily assistance and guidance, and they're doing their own thing. And it can be very easy for a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months to pass, and you're like, I haven't even talked to that guy, but I make 30 grand a month just off of his own production. Well, the reality is weeds grow in every garden. Even those gardens, even those big, giant, flourishing gardens, and they're making a ton of money, and they're making you a ton of money. And you're like, but the thing is, and I made this mistake, which is why I have the rule, is things happen, and something could happen, and if you maintain consistent communication, it's so fascinating how many times in the last few months I've used the word communication, right? So many times that we allow too much time to go between communication. If something goes awry, if something happens that's weird, if we're in regular communication, if we're staying regularly connected with our key producers, then we're going to catch stuff before it festers into something significant. So the reality is we need to stay deeply connected with all of our people. And I'm not just saying frontline personally sponsored people. When you're looking at your organization and you're looking at where these chunks of volume are coming from, just so you understand, if you had 1,000 people in your group, you gotta know this, that not every person out of those 1,000 is producing. Out of those 1,000, you might have 16, 18, or 20, or who knows what the number is, people where all of that volume is taking place. And maybe 4 of those are personally sponsored, and the other 14 or 18, whatever the number I gave you just now, the other 12, I think I said 16. The other 16 are down in depth inside of your organization, but they're all like important people to you. Even though they're not personally sponsored, they're an asset, a valuable asset in your organization. And so that's a person that you would want to maintain consistent lines of communication with and stay involved with, even if they don't require you. Even if it's just a phone call to say, hey, John, Todd Falcone checking in. What's happening this week? Anything I can do for you? No, I'm crushing it. Things are great. We're about ready to hit our next rank. That's awesome. Listen, if there's anything I can help you with, I'm here. I want to assist you. Just, my line's open for you. Even if it's something as simple as that, even if it's not like day in and day out working with them. So that, I think, is where the question came is, am I day in and day out hands-on working with people forever and ever? You're going to be staying in communication with them forever and ever, but I don't necessarily think that you need to, it depends on the person that they require your assistance. I'm also even, like, I remember working, and 2 months ago, I think I did a video, and I was talking about how I learned to close. And I learned to close by doing 3 ways with this guy, Ed. And then I got very proficient at, building that business. And I didn't necessarily need Ed to help me close my people. But even not needing him, we still work together because that cooperative, the effect that working together as a team has is so much more powerful than working independently. There's just a vibe that's created when you're able to, stay in a deeply connected working environment with people in your organization. You're like, we're all intertwined with one another. And I think if you maintain that kind of vibe within your organization, regardless of whether it's a need factor, because there's definitely points where I've worked with people where it's not need. I didn't need them to assist me. I was, very proficient and totally independent, but we still worked together. We still stayed in super tight lines of communication and still did things together in business because it just makes it easier, right? When we work together as a cooperative organization, at least in that line of sponsorship, there's just magic that happens. So the answer to the question is, how long do you work with your downline? Forever. As long as they're on your downline, as long as there are people that are working and productive, you continue to work with them, even far after they've become independent of you, and even maybe making more than you or better than you or whatever the case is, or maybe all of the above. You still do it. There's never a time personally that I cut ties. Get out of my house. You're 18. You're out of here. I'm not. If I kick my kid out of my house at 18, I'm still want to be communicating with my kid. Still want to give him fatherly advice. Still want to stay in his life, if you will. And I think it's kind of the same thing here. We want to stay connected with our people. And there's a reason to do it because it just keeps things moving in the right direction, right? So, look, there's other things about this episode and other episodes you can catch. By the way, you can find this episode, I don't know, maybe you're watching me on iTunes or listening to me on iTunes or finding me on YouTube. The conversation is taking place toddfalcone.com/episode 40. That's where you want to go. TODDFALCONE.com/episode 40. toddfalcone.com/episode 40. That's where you can find the rest of the details on this episode. You might be here right now. That's great. I'd love to hear your comments, by the way. I love getting feedback from you guys. I appreciate you for plugging in. Thank you so much for being here. Stay fearless, my friends. We'll see you on the next episode. Have an epic day. Thanks for plugging in.